Greetings, everyone. On behalf of the Shangsheng School of Tibetan Medicine, I'd like to welcome you to our show today and thank you so much for joining us. Here on our show, we explore Tibetan medicine's contribution to the greater conversation, global public health today, and Tibetan medicine's role in the rich cultural heritage of traditional healing arts and science from around the world. To learn more about the Shangsheng School of Tibetan Medicine and our upcoming programs, please do join our email list. Follow us on Facebook. You can see some of our previous episodes and content on YouTube. Also, we have our previous episodes archived on our website, which is tibetanmedicineschool.org. So follow us on Facebook, click the bell to join our email list. And also you can join our email list through the link provided below in the comments. We'd love to tell you about our school and our programs of education in traditional Tibetan medicine, from short lectures and weekend courses, all the way to our flagship program, our 4-year complete advanced training in traditional Tibetan medicine. So we'd love to have you along, and thank you again so much for joining us today. So this week, we are discussing the beautiful practice of Khaita Joyful Dancing with our special guest, certified instructor, Adriana Dal Borgo. Kaita means harmony in space, and this is a method of community dance developed by the acclaimed Dzogchen master and founder of our school, Chögyal Namkhai Norbu. It is inspired by the cultural phenomenon of traditional Tibetan circle dances and also the modern Tibetan dance from the youth of today in Tibet. Kaita integrates the Buddhist Dharmic themes of awareness, harmonization of energy, movement, and group collaboration. So our guest today is Adriana Dal Borgo. She has over 20 years of experience teaching contemplative dance and cultivating awareness in movement. Her methods integrate harmonization of energy and the practice of cultivating presence through the media of sound and dance. Adriana has a degree in psychology, specializing in psychotherapy, and she was appointed to teach Vajra dance first in 1992 by Chögyal Namkhai Norbu, and later studied this wonderful tradition of Khaita Joyful Dancing. As always, our ongoing host, Menpa Punsak Wangmo. Menpa Wangmo is a practitioner and teacher of traditional Tibetan medicine with over 30 years of experience. She is the director of the Shangsheng School of Tibetan Medicine and the co-founder of ATMA, the Tibetan Medicine Professional Organization in the United States, the American Tibetan Medical Association. Menpa Wangmo, thank you so much for hosting our show once again today. And Adriana, thank you so much for being with us today. We are so excited for your presentation.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Dr. Ponzo Wanmo, for inviting and opening this possibility to share Kaita project.
So I understand that you prepared some vivid slides for us, and you're going to tell us a little bit about the origins of Khaita Joyful Dance. And its founder, Chögyal Namkhai Norbu, developed this system and what inspired him to do that. So please do take it away and tell us about it.
Sure, 1 second. Okay. Yeah, so Kaita is a project that Chögyal Namkhai Norbu started at the end of 2011. He was in Tenerife Island that moment, and he dedicated most part of his time to it until 2018. So this project covered all his last part of life. So we see here the symbol of Kaita, and here below is Chögyal Namkhai Norbu calligraphy in Tibetan Ume. And here the word Kaita in Tibetan Uchen writing. So let's discover what the word means. So Ka means space or sky, and Ta, that is part of the longer word Yanta, means harmony or melody. So this word, short word Kaita, resume the essence and the goal and the beautiful meaning. So it's about discovering the harmony through melody, so through song and dances, through singing and dancing. And we discover this harmony inside us. Once we discover inside, it can resonate outside. This is the symbol of Kaita. You see, is the infinite note. The infinite note is one of the 8 auspicious symbols for Buddhist tradition. And in general, it represented the flow of love and compassion. So in this case, we had also aspect of harmony and melody. So it's like the infinite flow of harmony and melody that is without interruption. Also, this line is curved, so it has no obstacle, has no beginning, not end, and no solution of continuity. It is golden, so it's shining like the sun, and is inside the circumference. So this circle represents the earth, the globe, or the dimension where we live. So the meaning of this symbol is also that it connects all the people on the earth and all the place on the earth through this harmony and this melody. Here we have some calligraphy of Chögyal and Norbu. So at the beginning, we were using the English word harmony in the space. And then Rinpoche started to search for the Tibetan word that corresponding. So here on the left, you can see the tries that he did. So we have first long ta, you see here kata, then kalong, kalong ta. So he was searching something with the word space, that long or ka, and then melody ta. And then he found kaita, and that's it. So kaita is beautiful because it's very short and very easy to pronounce, to remember and to pronounce in any language. I put this slide about this publication, Musical Tradition of Tibetan People. That is a publication of a collection of songs and dance that Rinpoche did when he was very young. And this publication is from 1967. In the introduction, Rinpoche is telling us that he was interested in collecting songs and dances from his country since he was 16 years old. And this is the first Kaita collection that is Message from Tibet. It has 108 songs, like the Beads of Mala, and it has been published first in 2014. And then we have a revised edition, 2020, that is available also in ebook. You can find all our books and publication of Kaita in the Shanshung publication. So I show you these two collection, and I'm comparing this because even they are both collection of song and dances coming from Tibetan plateau, but the collection, this Kaita collection has a different meaning, because my understanding is that Kaita unify two aspects that mostly characterize Rinpoche life. One is this vast erudition in Tibetan culture, so in all fields of Tibetan culture, and the other is enormous and incredible knowledge and wisdom as Dzogchen master. So these two correspond to the two reasons of Kaita that Rinpoche was explaining us many times. So about the cultural reason. Cultural because the Tibetan culture is very ancient, very deep, and the knowledge can be useful for all humanity. And the other aspect is that if we lose the knowledge of Tibetan language, then we lose direct access to most ancient Buddhist texts. So it's very important to keep this language alive. And then concerning the other aspects, so the wisdom of Chögyal and Norbu as Dzogchen master, it was really original way of using song and dancing, simple song and dancing, I mean not particularly sacred movement, sacred sound, but something that you find in internet, in YouTube, to use this as a contemplative tool, as a method that brings joy, bring to deep relaxation, and is also a training of presence and awareness. Here we have again Rinpoche calligraphy on the, you can see the Tibetan language. Is indicating some words. So in what consists of the Kaita project? So Rinpoche was selecting, he has been selecting around 400 songs among many, many more that he listened. And then he was transcribing this. So you can imagine one by one, he was transcribing at first from a big television and then from his computer. Also at the beginning was transcribing by hand, and then he started to use the computer. Then he was transliterating because for many of us, we don't feel at easy with reading Tibetan language. So he gave us this system Drajor that he created in order that we could sing together. And this system has some Latin letters, so it's very simple to follow. You will see later some example. So, and then he was translating, especially at the beginning. Every time he was presenting some new songs, he was also translating orally to us. So this about song. And then about dances, he was preparing and then rehearsing with his student all the dances. So Rinpoche took active part in preparing and then somehow training with us, even he was not really dancing, but he was accompanying us in this aspect also. Here you see an example of one text in Tibetan. So now here even we don't understand the words, but have a look of the aesthetic aspect of this. So it's like a poem, no? You see it's written like a poem with space between words and between lines with the ornament. And here is the Drajor, so this system of transliteration. So it takes just maybe a couple of days to learn well how to read and pronounce this letter, to understand how the accent works and how some syllable together, how the sound works. But it's really very simple. So with this text, everybody can sing Tibetan. And have a look also at the ornament, of course, and then the words. No, it's not just written word by word, but there are spaces between. And also these little waves. So these waves indicate the melody. So by reading this, we have a great help to understand how the melody is and to follow better the song, the singing. Also, you can see this small letter, this O. When there are some vocalization, when the singer do some vocalization, Rinpoche described everything. So he was really counting how many times she's singing O, and he was writing this so precisely. So you can imagine how much he did work for all these 400 songs, and each of these, all this transcription and using the ornament and so on. So that was really an amazing work he did. Here is how the collection, the message from Tibet appears. It looks like now, the revised edition. You see that we have the Tibetan part, the transliteration Drajor, and immediately the translation in English. So it's very practical, very easy to follow. And also it keeps the structure that Rinpoche gave to his file. And I would like to read now this little quotation from the introduction that Rinpoche wrote. So here in this song, so it's talking about Dempa, the truth. I will tell you later how you can find this song and so on. I realized that not only was it pleasant, but that this new melody also have the special value of communicating in words the aspiration and happiness and suffering of Tibetan people, and that this expression is perfectly connected to the authentic nature of Ati Dzogchen, which endows with a power beyond limitation. So from these words, you see again the two aspects, the two reasons I was talking before, the cultural aspect and the aspect connected with Ati Zompa Chempo, no? Dzogchen teaching. And this song, Dempa, is really beautiful. It has a beautiful melody and also beautiful lyrics, beautiful words. And it talks about how the language, Tibetan language, unify all different groups of Tibetan living in different places, like one unique language. And it used some metaphor to express this. So it's like the melody that connect everybody, and it's like a river that come from the high mountain. In Tibet, there are many high mountains, the highest mountain of the world. So the water that at the beginning is ice and snow and then melts, and as the river pass through different land, different places, and connect all the places and connect all the people, so is the language that connect, and so is the melody. So you remember the explanation I gave you about the symbol that you can see also here on top right. So this symbol of Kaita, this infinite note, again, no, connecting everybody, connecting all the place through the melody. So this is Dempa, this is the song that gave to Rinpoche the idea, the suggestion, the inspiration to develop Kaita project. And after a message from Tibet, we have other collections that are not yet been published, but still we can find all material online. I show you later. So we have Parsam collection. Parsam means bridge between, and this has around 70 songs, and bridge between because it's between message from Tibet and next collection that is called Mekor. And Mekor has 180 songs divided in 3 groups of 60 each, and each group is called Metrang. So this terminology, Mekor, Metrang, and the numbers 180 divided in 3 groups of 60 correspond to the principle of Tibetan astrology of the elements. So there are some precise reasons that Rinpoche decided to use this principle, but I will not talk about this now. And just to say that this Mekor collection, Rinpoche worked many years on this until really the end. It was constantly changing, adding song, changing song. So there are many versions in general between us. We give the name Mekor and then the year corresponding the year. So what we are singing now is the last version, of course. Here is Rinpoche in Taipei, 2015, when he's watching one of the booklet. You see on the table, there are these 3 booklets corresponding to the 3 metrang. And now about our dances. So we have around 230 dances. Many of these are kordro, circle dances. Kor means circle, dro means dancing. And then we have also new choreography that have been done by students of Chögyal Namkhai Norbu following his request to create some choreography that could translate the lyrics into movement. And so we did this always with Rinpoche supervision and then with his approval. And of course, the different dances correspond to the background and different also preference and disposition of the students that create those. And so this slide shows us something. At the end of his life in September 2018, Rinpoche received an important recognition from a representative of Italian President of Republic as commander of the Order of Merits for having dedicated his life to activities that have brought benefit to the community and the nation. So I would like to stress the point that this recognition is a civil recognition. So it's not spiritual, it's not cultural, but it's about his life, so what he has done in his life, in everyday life. So we can see that Rinpoche life embodies the principle of Dzogchen teaching. So he was showing this, so not only when he was teaching, sitting on the throne, the hours where he was during retreat, for example, but he manifested the principle of the teaching in every moment of his life. And I put this, and I'm talking about this because Kaita, that is the project that he developed on the last part of his life, in my understanding, also represent this way of applying a teaching concretely in daily life, using simple, as I said before, simple songs, simple dances, and not talking particularly about spiritual teaching, but applying the essence of the teaching, that is integrate the teaching in our daily life. Here we have a video, but I think we can watch later this, maybe. Yeah.
Would you like to show the short video now?
Okay, if you want, we can watch now.
Allora, che cosa vuol dire Khaita? It means space. Space is where it can manifest everything, good, bad, everything, no? That's a Khai. Khai, it means off space. That's like a Namkhai, my name. Khai. Same. That, it means melody. Melody of the space, that means in space there exists good, bad, everything, but it is related with the energy, movement. Movement is related with harmony, no? Harmony. So when we are saying harmony, it means a little more positive aspect, you know. Also, when we are working very hard and the way we feel very tight, not very harmony, but when we enjoy and we are moving, we consider positive, you know. That kind of the melody and the movement, harmony. That is the meaning, Kaita. Purpose of the Kaita, because we are living, human being, movement. So if we move, then we can continue our life more. If we are not moving one day, then finish our life. So it's very important to move. But move also smooth, harmoniously. It helps also for our health. Then it helps very much also our mind, because the mind is always confused, always judging, thinking so many things. So then when we are dancing, if you have such kind of a present, just like in a teaching, it is a superior, it is good. Then you can integrate. Even you have no that, but you are not thinking, oh, what I should do, I have this problem, number one, number two, number three. Not thinking. When you are dancing, you couldn't think that. No? You relax your mind. And you are moving with your physical body. So then we have body, speech, mind, and everything is becoming harmonious. This is very important. Kaita is the main point is that. course, when we are singing and dancing, not only we are dancing, jumping, no. What we are singing, each time it has very precise meaning, real sense. Even we are not knowing, but more or less then, somehow we are learning, and also then with movement, everything is represent something. This is the principle of the Kaita. We repeat one more.
That's very beautiful, Adriana. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
And we can click out back to our regular screen now for a moment, okay?
Sure.
Well, thank you for that presentation, Adriana, the first part of your presentation. And thank you so much for sharing that beautiful video. It's really so nice to see Rinpoche on the screen. And wow, it's just incredible what you were presenting and what Rinpoche was saying. It really just corresponds so well. You know, through the years of working with Rinpoche and the teachings that he always just said again and again, always coming back to integrating that real essence of wisdom of what is the Dzogchen teachings into daily life and everyday mundane activities, with no need for any contrived sort of thing, but always integrating that wisdom, that primordial awareness into everyday life with our body, speech, and mind. And it's so beautiful how he states in that video how, you know, if we are doing a meditative practice, if we're integrating with contemplation, then that means we will, in that moment, be releasing our attachment to our everyday problems and our worries and our concerns, 1, 2, 3, as he said. And what better way to facilitate that release of tensions than to be moving and integrating with dance and music? So it's just, it's brilliant. It's so brilliant. And that integration of the mundane daily activity representing that cultural or sort of secular aspect that you mentioned, and then that deep essence of wisdom representing those Dzogchen teachings, like you mentioned, those two aspects. Wow, what a system. It's so cool. So thank you for sharing that for now. And so now I'd like to check in with Menpa Punsak Wangmo, our show host. Menpa Wangmo, thank you so much for hosting and being here. I wanted to ask you a specific question for starters. Maybe you can just tell us a little bit about the background of Tibetan cultural dance, Tibetan circle dance. You were born and raised, grew up in Tibet, your home. And I remember when we were in school throughout the years, when we would you would guide us in circle dances any chance we had when the weather was nice or we go out for a picnic. Even when we're on a road trip and we stop to stretch our legs, you would have us dance and lead us in the simple circle dances. And it was always a very joyful and wonderful experience. So can you please share with our audience just whatever you want to say about traditional Tibetan circle dancing in general and what that means and how it helps?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, first I want to say thank you, my dear friend Adriana, also my dear Vajra sister. Really, thank you, all your dedications, hard works, and then all those things. Really, I want to say thank you, and it's such wonderful to hear from you and from Rinpoche, and to see all those dancers. And Adam, like, yes. In general, I think the without music, our life will be is sort of like little dark, you know, just working, eating, and sleep without any sort of like a singing or melody. It looks like a little bit, our life is a little bit dull. And then through this, the melody also sort of like carrying the words beyond then your capacities to carrying to the other. So this is also sort of like a one, the songs and then melodies and then dance and this kind of thing. In the Tibetan culture, what we say is that once you know how to walk, the children, you know how to dance. Once you know how to speak, and then you know how to sing. So this is sort of like what we say. So dance is pretty much in our life. Either, you know, every like a job, either you go to on the mountain shepherd behind the yaks or sheeps, and they're singing. When you working in the farmers working on the field, they are singing. The ladies in the house cooking or preparing the butters, this kind of, and they're singing. And then the building house, and then they are singing. So beside the sleep, they're sort of like singing. Sing is sort of like comes with their life. It does not matter either you have a good voice or you don't have a good voice. This is not the depend. And then many times they're singing on the mountains a lot of the mantras, and they're spreading the wisdoms of the mantra, benefits of the mantra to the all sentient beings beyond than the human beings. So we do a lot of these kind of things. But particularly this circle dance, in Tibet, we have our land is very huge a land. So Eastern Tibet, Northeast Tibet, West Tibet, Central West Tibet, North Tibet, we are pretty far distance. But each town, each community, we have our own sort of like circle dance, style of the circle dance. So the circle dance is like symbolic of the uniting the village people. Circle dance is also like a symbolic of the harmonizing the village people. And also circle dance is welcome the peoples into the community. And also circle dance is sort of like to meeting or to introducing the young generations. And also circle dance is a sort of like passing the culture knowledge to the younger generation. So that the circle dance is in the Tibetan culture is a huge sort of like taking the place. For that reason, I think that each town, each village, there has their own sort of like the circle dance. And also this circle dance, when soon we get together, sort of like a party, or as you said, you remember one time we danced at we are coming from the Washington D.C. coming back to the Massachusetts. On the way, we lost the road somehow, and then we get late, and then we park the car at the parking lot. Then we dance there. So the dance is sort of like also stretching the bodies, relax. As Rinpoche and Adriana mentioned, you know, the circle dance is very good. It relax. Yeah, not only circle dance, but any other dance movement could do. But the circle dance is very good. Is sort of like to collaborate, sort of like. So this is circle dance. Of course, also like a movement helps to the healing part.
Thank you again, Lau. That's so beautiful. It's wonderful. I really get a good feeling just talking about it and hearing you talk about it. Okay. Excellent. Wow. And so, and Rinpoche really put so much work, Adriana, as you were describing in your slides, how much work and effort Rinpoche put into transcribing these hundreds of songs, creating these multiple versions and multiple compilations. And as you said, doing down to every single syllable, every single number of beats, and transcribing in this incredibly accurate phonetic Drajor system. And so he put in so much work to share this with us. And you could tell that he really considered it to be so important. So Adriana, I wanted to ask you kind of about we know, so Rinpoche shared that the system was developed and inspired in great part by the young people of Tibet and their kind of modern dancing. We have like the traditional dances that go back so long in the cultural history of Tibet, and then the kind of each generation, I'm sure, expresses this in their own way. And in the modern times, now we have YouTube, internet, and so I remember Rinpoche was playing us clips of modern music videos on YouTube that depicted the dancing and the young people dancing and singing their songs. So can you please share with us a little bit of what you've learned in your understanding about the connection of Kaita dance and the young people of Tibet and the cultural significance? What have you learned and has inspired you about this topic?
Yeah, to answer this, I think I will talk about the themes of the songs, no? Because Rinpoche selected those 400 songs among many more, and according to different principles, the melody. So he chose always some nice melody, pleasure, something particular that he like, and also the themes, because there are many songs, as you say in YouTube, really many, talking about many things, but then he selected carefully. For example, we say, no, we don't choose a love song about passion. This we don't need. But all the theme that of the lyrics of the song selected are very important for all humanity. So, and at first coming from this young singer and courageous singer, really. And the theme, for example, they are talking about peace in the world. So important to have to spread and to have peace into the world. So this, of course, it's important not only for one culture but for everybody. And then the importance of recognize and sustain and support our own culture. So this is important for Tibetan culture for the reason that we said before, but it's also good and important for each of us. If we recognize our own culture, we respect this because it's part of us, it belongs to our roots. So we belong to our culture. So it's important to respect and to honor this. And from this, we go to also respecting the parents and the ancestor. That this is something that in Tibetan culture is still alive, or at least is still a value. And but in our society, in a Western country, we are kind of losing this. So then we lose also all the wisdom that come from our parents or grandparents, for example. And then other aspect of the Tibetan songs that we are singing all the time is the importance to maintain, to respect the environment where we live, because we know we are interconnected. If those who are following these art shows and following the program of Tibetan Medicine School, you have probably already many occasions to hear about this holistic understanding of the human being that is not separated from the environment. No? So we are connected each other, we are connected with the nature. So if we do something that harm the nature, the environment, then we will receive back some provocation. So it's important to be aware of this aspect. And then another aspect also is the overcoming border between groups. as Punso Wanmo said, no, there are many groups of Tibetan living in many different places, but they are all connected. So it's important that we overcome the judgment. So this is inside Tibetan culture, but then we can extend, we can see from a wider perspective and see the boundaries and the judgment or limitation between races, for example, or between spiritual groups, or in the same country between North and South, but then going wider or smaller, depend also with our neighbor. Maybe I fight with my neighbor because when watering the plant or I water on my window, this something. So we can learn a lot about respecting each other and overcome all these judgment and ideas. No? So in this sense, the title of the collection, Message from Tibet. So it's something that comes from Tibet, comes from Tibetan culture, but we can easily apply to everybody. And so in this sense, I suggest to find Rinpoche commentary on the song. There is a book that where we collected all this commentary to the song of Message from Tibet. So you will see, you will read this deeper understanding of each song, because if song, for example, speaks about the red flower or sun and moon in the sky, we can read this on many levels. So Rinpoche was really very generous with us to give understanding on different level, deeper also level. So this, of course, it brings benefit and it is very interesting, no, for all of us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Well, in my personal life and studies, it's been very clear to me that the cultural values of traditional societies all around the world, this really kind of ancient and traditional societies from different places, the Asia, the Americas, Africa, just all around the world in general, is so important for us to integrate with, because in our modern times, we're so busy, we're so distracted, we're using such new transformative things like technology and internet is changing our world and moving in this kind of forward, futuristic direction so rapidly that I've always considered, and I think many of my teachers and smart people I know agree, it's very important to maintain those kind of core values, those community values, the connection to nature values, even the connection to our own physical bodies, working with our dimension of body, speech, and mind in a integrated and healthy way. We can lose track of how to even do this with our work schedules, our technology, all this kind of conceptual things. So a practice like Kaita, with not only the physical movement, the beautiful melody, and the inspiring and profound meaning of the lyrics, as you were describing, is this perfect vehicle for connecting with things that are really important for our health and our lives, and which we risk losing connection with in modern times. So thank you for that. I appreciate that so much. Okay, so what do we have next? I wanted to ask you, Adriana, personally, about, you have this training in the psychology, you have the background in working with the mind and spiritual practice. So do you want to share a little bit about how you connected with Kaita and how it drew you in to become so deeply inspired to dedicate to this practice, and then how that helped you and enriched your life since then?
Thank you. Yeah. So I just was there at the right moment in the right place, because simply I was accompanying Rinpoche in his traveling in that moment when Kaita manifest. So I was there. So I didn't make any effort to be part of this. Just I was there and I saw everything manifest. And for me, it was very natural do what I could do to support Rinpoche in this work. And that time was really very, very strong. Rinpoche was used to wake up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning and then start to work on the song. So the house was filled with music all day, because he was working all day, and then we were singing together and dancing until late in the night. So I call that time of the frullatore in Italian, so the blending time, because it was amazing. It was really all day music, dance, text, translation, and then printing paper, singing. So it was amazing. It was really very, very, very strong. And I learned many things. For my training as dancer, it was really a good training. Really, he made me more like a full dancer, no? In the sense that Kaita has many different movements, really many different movements and many different rhythms. So this enriched my training as a dancer. And also the hours of training, because especially during the first years, we were dancing 3, 4, 5 hours every day, or even more when we were preparing for some special situation. So that my body changed, my voice changed, because we were singing a lot. Every time Rinpoche was bringing a new song, we were singing 20, 30 times the same song. So really spending hours every day in this. So, so all this was really strong. And then I can say it opened my heart, so everything became lighter. I found some more lightness in my life, and it opens also my mind. So it was very interesting to see a display of reaction in myself, but also all people around toward this toward Kaita. Because some of us were enthusiastic of this singing and dancing all the time, because who loved sing and dance was really just enthusiastic. Some people were happy just to have possibility to share time with Rinpoche. And then there was also many doubts, many unbeliefs. Why is doing this, but why is dedicating time to these songs instead of working on some teaching, some text, but I don't like to dance, I don't like this strange music. So it was very interesting to watch all these different aspects. Also when we were dancing, we were comparing, a bit jealousy, or I'm dancing better, or this, no? So all our emotion, thoughts, everything was popping up, coming up very fast, very quickly. And so I saw this, how Rinpoche was offering us a method to become aware of our limitation, because all this judgment, idea, I like, I don't like, all these are our real limitation. We are human, no? So, but that was excellent method to see all this manifesting so quickly and so clearly. And then, of course, when this manifests, when you can see, then you are able to overcome. So I really appreciate, and I thank every day Rinpoche for this method, because it's a constant teaching about recognize something from ourselves, no? Observe our mind, and then of course with the body and energy, no? Observe everything, and is really excellent tool.
And in your experience, how do you connect this to the greater kind of philosophical values of the Buddhist Dharma? I think everything we've said so far is touching to that field and expressing that in some way. But in your experience with the spiritual practice, how would you connect the Khaita joyful dance to the core values of Buddhist teachings?
Yeah, so I was, when we were translating the text, the flyer and the web pages, so we have to translate the word Kaita, we don't translate, dance is very easy to translate, and then the joyful, every language has different possibility. For example, in Italian, you can say allegro or gioioso, also in Spanish. So to find the correct translation, I searched a bit the etymology of the word joyful, joy. So I found that it comes from the Latin gaudium. So already gaudium recall us memory of church, of God, something divine. No? And it comes from, and the Sanskrit root is the word Juj, sorry, the pronunciation, you spell Y-U-J. And this is the same root of the word yoga, that for Hinduism also it means union with the divine. But then for Buddhists, the meaning is a bit different. So for Buddhists in Tibetan, we translate yoga with Nalma. Nalma is very important word in the teaching, Dzogchen teaching, because it means our condition, our authentic condition that is not modified, is pure from the beginning. And Naljor, that we translate with practitioner, Dharma practitioner, are those who have the knowledge of this condition, the profound understanding of this. And this word Nalma in Western language, in English, we translate with evolution. So evolution is a word that Chögyal and Norbu was using a lot in the teaching, especially in the last years. So evolution is a process that starts from us. No? So I cannot pretend that you evolve. No, this doesn't work like this. I must evolve. I must re-educate myself and change. I cannot expect in you to change. So it's something that starts from each of us. So if each of us evolve, then this can resonate outside, and then things can also change outside. Not always Rinpoche was giving examples instead evolution, not revolution, because revolution is when we want to change a situation by fighting, by obtaining something by fighting, no? Opposing ourselves to something else. While evolution is like a natural evolving, natural changing from inside. And then, so next step is how we evolve. No, of course, we evolve through a spiritual teaching, but we evolve through awareness, through being aware of the circumstances, and then be online with the circumstances. And so the Khaita Joyful Dances are very good method to become aware. I will give a concrete example how this can work. For example, we have many dances, as we say. So, and each dance has very precise movements. So in 230 dances, some are similar, but you don't find two exactly dancing with the same movement and same steps. So each is different from the other. So in order to learn, we have to learn and to perform precisely, not something more or less, because every dance is very, very precise, no? Very precise movements, steps, rhythm, and so on. So when we are learning, we need to watch well, to be aware of the person that is showing us, or the video, we are learning from the video, how the movement is, and then to perform very precisely in the same way. So if I see a movement like this, and I do this, it's different, no? And maybe this is stupid. You think it's stupid, but it is not, because if you are teaching, you see that very often we are not aware of our movement. I think I do correct way, but I don't do. No? So this really need some awareness of doing the movement in the correct way. And then this involve also the body, because if I do a different movement, involve different part of the body, different muscle, different part, and involve also the energy level, because a different movement corresponds to different function of the energy. Without saying what is better or what not, it's not about this, but about really different. So this movement has a function, this movement has another function. So we can, through dancing, through pay a little attention to presence, we can really develop something more deeper. And then we have also the mind, the function of mind. So we were talking, you mentioned harmonizing the three aspects, no? So Rinpoche was telling this, we harmonize the three aspects, the body, the energy, and the mind. in our dances, we have many movements that we call mudra. Mudra is a movement that has a meaning. Huh? For example, in one song, it says, I wish that this song bring peace into the world. And I do this mudra. So from my mouth, now this song, I wish it bring peace into the world. If I do this movement with presence, it has a function. If I do this movement without knowing, or I know but I forget and I'm thinking, okay, now I dance and then later I will go to have good coffee, it will have no meaning at all, no? So even we be a drop, but with our intention, so the movement is full. We have the body, we have the energy, and we have the intention. So this full movement will bring a little drop of peace into the world, no? Because we put our intention, and it's better a drop of positive intention than a drop of poison, no? So you see how all these three aspects are interconnected. And through dance, of course, we balance, because we, through the movement and the sound. And talking about sound, I think that Dr. Punzo Wanmo can say much more about the benefit of the sound. But just say something quickly, that the sound affect even our own cells. No, there are some researches. So the sound helps to harmonize our cells. But then through sound, because Kaita is also singing, no, it's not only dancing, it's also singing, sitting, singing, or singing while dancing. So when we sing, also we coordinate our breath. This comes naturally, because if we don't breathe well, then we cannot sing. No? And then we have also the rhythm. Rhythm is very important. I would like to quote some Rinpoche word that he say, dance is important for education because we enter in the rhythm. And rhythm is time. And we live in time. So dance is very important for education, because through learning how to move in the rhythm, we learn how to live, to move in our circumstances. So this aspect also is very, very important. No? And about awareness, also we can see other level of awareness. So I can train and develop awareness in for myself. Let's say in my movement, no, I can observe my mind. This is very interesting training. I can observe my mind. How is my attitude, for example, when I dance, and how my mind can affect my energy and the body. For example, when I do a mistake, how do I react when I do mistake in a movement? Do I freeze and I don't do anything else because I did a mistake, I don't move? Or oh, I'm stupid, I did a mistake, why? And so on. I'm distracted with this talk. Then I continue to do mistakes. Then we come a necklace of mistakes, one after the other. Or maybe I'm able to release this thought. So I did a mistake. Okay, I don't lose my presence. I continue to dance. I keep presence in all next movement. And okay, I did a mistake. It's not a big problem. No, so if I'm able to release this thought and to relax into the movement, into the sound, and the movement that the sound will help me to relax, will really bringing me to a relaxation, then I will discover the joy of dancing. This is what we can say, level of me, no, in my. Then we can discover that we are dancing together, that someone else is dancing near me, no? Then we need to open a bit our awareness and discover someone else is here. So already we open a bit. And then we can also learn a lot about how we interact, how we support each other, do we compare our dance, do we collaborate? As Dr. Punzo Wanmo said before, the dance are very good example, circle dance or all dances about collaboration, no? Dancing together. And also practical example, there is a mudra movement, for example, of the mountain. In our songs, many times talk about mountain, of course. So mudra of mountain will be like this. I can do by myself, but in some dances we build this mudra with the person nearby. No? So I put my arm here and then join with the other arm. But in order to do this simple movement that is really very simple, we need to be on time, because if I do before or after the other, that the mountain will not manifest. Or if I do in one level and the other person does another level, also we will not have mountain. We have to do so together on the same moment, on the right place. And this also seems very simple, but require some attention, some awareness and presence, because we have to do in exactly one place in the song, not 3 minutes after, not 5 seconds after. It's very precise moment where together we have to do this. So this is teaching a lot really about also cooperation and awareness. Awareness about movement, about rhythm, about sound. And we have another level that we can call the level of us. This is more on systemic level. So the group is more of the sum of the single individual. So the group, it has its own energy, has its own quality, its own harmony. For example, I give this example of the circle always. So to make a circle, to keep a circle, we need, everybody should be aware of the circle. At the beginning of our dance, I remember our circle were really completely something else. For example, they were pineapple or pear or something else. So it was not easy to make a circle. Later, we became a little bit more expert. But really, we need awareness, and then not one person. If one person alone cannot keep a circle, even two persons cannot keep, but we need at least three to make the shape and to keep the circle. No? So this really teaching a lot about collaboration and cooperation. And talking about the group, this systemic level, this idea, this image of the flock of birds or the fish in the river, in the water, how they move together. No, you have this, think how they move together, and suddenly, for example, fish suddenly change direction, and you cannot say who start. Seems they go together. How is possible? No, they move all together one direction, and suddenly they change in the other direction. They not fight, discuss who want to go here or there, but somehow they go, they move. No, so the group is something else, and through our dances, through Kaita dances, I had this experience sometimes that we were like this, no? That we were like one flock of birds, or like the fish in the ocean moving together harmoniously. That this was also mandala. We can say that was mandala, no? That where everything was in harmony, no? Moving harmoniously. So I think this is a really application of the principle of Dharma. No? And then compassion arises spontaneously when it's like this, like I say that like a harmony, when it's inside and manifest outside spontaneously.
Yes, thank you so much. That's beautiful. So I wanted to come back to Menpa Punsak Wangmo now. Menpa Wangmo, will you please share with us a little bit about what would you say from your impression, what would be the connection with the Khaita Joyful Dancing and our health in terms of traditional Tibetan medicine? What would this work with our 5 elements, our 3 elemental humors, or the Nyepa Sum, or just does the classical text of Tibetan medicine mention how we should dance or move? What would you say the connection with our health and Kaita in terms of the traditional Tibetan medicine?
Okay, thank you. Um, yeah, in the Tibetan medicine, what we say is the Minawan never the but so on the Kansaga so what be mengal. So who should study medicine? Who wants to be healthy? You should study medicine. Another who should study medicine who wants to promote health to the other people. You should study medicine. Does not mean it's you need to be a doctor, but who need to study a little bit of the medicine. So I see the dance is special. This circle dance I see is very good to prevent from the sickness, special the emotional or mental or loneliness or all those kind of like problems. I see this the circle dance is very helpful for this kind of like emotional issues. Of course, also as the Adriana said before, the each dance there is a melodies, each dance there is a movement. Each movement is related with our body, muscles, nerves, tendons, ligament, organs, so on and so forth. And then go beyond than that is they involved with the chakras. So this the dance could be also very good a sort of like a physical therapy aspect. So when we're talking that the dance, it's there has a sort of value of the physical improvement part. And then also inside that the body, what we have the breathings, also this that the movement, certain movement as Adriana showed, either you have open or the full open hand. It's the true different inside our body system. So that always also our dear yoga teachers explaining. So I think is that the dance is can use as that the preventing way and also to help to fixing or to addressing certain issues. In Tibet, as I said before, when the farmers go to work on the field all day under sunlight, just under the sun and on the earth, just between there, they're working all day, come home as they're very smiling and then like a, like a happy way they come home. The people who's working on the buildings, you know how hard it is, but they come home as very smiling. They're so relaxing way. I see this is that the singing and the dance, this helps. This is also, there's a very famous dance we call the arche, sort of like that the construction builders dance. So they don't feel like I'm working very hard. They don't feel like I'm mandatorily making something, working something under someone. They work as the enjoying way. Of course, enjoyment could be is a long-term enjoying and then joyful and then short-term temporary joyful. But this is like temporary joyful. This temporary joyful helps to long achieve to the long-term joyful. So yeah, in Tibet, yes, we have a lot of physical problems, health issues here there, but the emotional aspect is pretty okay. For sure, there are some absolutely because we're also human. But when we were looking at quantity aspect or the major aspect, very tolerance, hardly no complaints each other or someone doing something, So all those kind of things I see helping through this kind of songs, stories, and then listen like the music. So this is I want to say. So conclusion is, yeah, dance help to the physical, dance help to the mental aspect, and dance and then singing is very good collaborations and then be into the society because we are like a social animals, social animal need to be in the society, in the social. We need to socialize. So like in Tibet, every town, every village, every sort of like a space there is like evening they do like a circle dance. Now, in the traditionally, every night all the village people comes into that the center of the village and then they dance. So this kind of I think helped a lot to keep together and support each other, to feel like unite, to feel like the sense of the community, to feel like there is support. I'm the not only one. So I think the all has a lot of meanings. Yeah.
Thank you again, Punzak Womala. So they're making they're kind of making their daily work and job into a type of a dance.
Yes, yes, really is no one working, like face sort of like unhappy way. Is everyone who's working there is like working with sort of like singing and then joking, sort of like when they come home, they come back home sort of like with a big laughing, sort of like not like today when we work a couple of hours then we get out of the job is we are pretty like done but I also could be one is out like being with the outer nature, because outer nature is really is like feeding our health. But I think the main is that the songs and then the lot of meanings that the, as Adriana said, in the each song has a such meaning, and then all those meaning is like the introducing to the younger generation or to like teaching how importance of the relationships, how importance your parents, your teachers, senior citizens, how should we respect junior to the seniors, how respect as a team, how should we respect this, that the motherland, this nature, how important those animals life, same as like us. They also have a sense of the family, how we should protect them. And also meantime is like what is that the meaning of the human life, what is the duty of the human life. So all those kind of things, important things to putting into the words of the song and then putting into the melody. So this so like words became sort of like a medicine. So
Beautiful. Medicine in words and movement. Thank you again, La.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Yes, I recently saw some modern scientific research, just kind of interviewing everybody about when they're most happy in their day, what is making them, giving them the most happiness and satisfaction in their daily life. And one thing they found was that people will very often, the vast majority of the time throughout your day, you go to work, you do your chores, you're doing things, and the most enjoyable, the most joyful part of your day, the most memorable thing will almost always be something that you're doing physically with your body when you go and get some exercise or when you're moving, whether that is any type of movement or physical activity or physical working. And that's especially true if you spend most of your time doing something indoors or that sort of thing. So it appears that people naturally have a very high value of enjoyment on this kind of using our body, physically working and working in that way. So I highly recommend everybody to remember that. And if we have a modern lifestyle, modern job, we're doing a lot of screen time, we're doing lots of sitting time, doing the vast majority of our whole life at indoors time, please do take the chance to do some physical movement. And what better way than using this dance, using a joyful movement of dance and connecting with other people and connecting also with your voice, I think is perfect.
Thank you. Yeah, that's really good. And then that the how the voice helps to the five element connected part, I will talk another one section in the future.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Okay, so let's go back to Adriana. So Adriana, with our kind of getting close to finishing here now, do you have more to share with us? What else did you want to say or share with our audience now?
Yeah, I just something about the research that, as you mentioned, about the physical movement, that the dancing, they discovered that dancing prevent aging. So, but of course, all the exercise, physical exercise, but especially dancing. So when they do this, they compare, no, group that is doing nothing, group that does physical training, and a group that is dancing. And they saw that group dancing receive higher score in the parameters connected with the cognitive capacity, for example, because it stimulates memory, just thinking when we are learning new choreography. So this is very good for the memory, for our awareness of the space and coordination and logic. So there are many aspects that really dance is good. So it prevents aging, also helps to reinforce the body, reinforce the muscle. So there are many good positive effect in this, and also in the education with children. No? We mentioned before Rinpoche words about education. So this is like a big field that will be very important to bring dance in the school, no? Because then it will provide a balanced growth, no? Growth in the physical aspect, the psychological, because children can share playful moment with the others. Also, they learn about respect and collaboration, all these aspects that we mentioned already. And the brain also stimulate the cognitive function. But particularly, I would like to share now some projects that are taking place now in Kaita and also future developments. So I will share again the presentation.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
It's not moving anymore, sorry. Okay, so I collect all our, let's say, project and idea in 3 streams. No? So one is archiving and sharing. So we have quite a big archive in Kaita with a lot of audio, video recording of Chögyal and Norbu explaining about Kaita and also on the dances, on translating the songs. And we have also all our recording of video event where we participated, a lot of picture, really a lot of material. Next step, so this is for our memory and history, of course, but it's also important for sharing this material. And of course, for sharing, we need to work on editing. So we are constantly updating the archive and working to clean, for example, audio maybe is not so clean or the footage. So we are constantly working on this. And then teaching and passing on knowledge, that means all the teaching of Kaita, so means the different course we do, but not only the steps, because we saw that Kaita is not only steps and movement, but there is something much more behind. So it's also teaching how to teach, to preserve the essence and the core of Kaita. And the third stream, I would say the application, all possible application of Kaita in different contexts and situations as to promote education. Now we are talking health and well-being. So I will present you now 3 concrete projects that we are working on that represent these 3 streams. So first about sharing material. We have a Kaita app. So this is application that you can access from your mobile or from computer very easily. And it has all the material, the lyrics, the songs, and very soon we'll have also Rinpoche commentaries about the different songs. So let's dedicate a couple of minutes to see how it works. So we type kaita.com, and then it will lead us here. Just one second. So here you see we have all the collection. No? And for example, let's search for the song that we were seeing before that Rinpoche mentioned in the introduction. So this song belongs to Message from Tibet. But if we don't know to which collection belong, and we know the title, we can type here, Dempa, Melody of Truth, and we go there. So you see here we have the original video, the singer, Tsewan Lamo, the Widi Sherten also. And so we can click and we can watch the video, listen. Here we have our dance that we did. Here is in Zamlingar, where we did perform the dance in Zamlingar. And on the right side, we have the text. So in the text, we can choose to have the Tibetan text, the Drajor, the phonetic transliteration, and then the English translation. We can have the three, or we can have only one. For example, we can choose to have only Drajor, and then we have the text like this. If we want the translation, maybe only translation, we will have the translation. So this is very useful and very practical. Then you can create your own playlist. You can choose your favorite song. You can do many things. So I suggest to go and play a bit with this application. And a next project, next aspect, so is about teaching, passing on the knowledge. So we have what we call dance school. Dance school include all the way how we can learn Kaita. So from the course workshop, online, on-site workshop, to the demonstration video, to online lesson. We have in our YouTube channel, we have a lot of free lesson you can follow. And then the educational program. So all this you can find here in kaita.org, that is our web page. And about the educational program, this is a program that will start next summer and is a 3-year, quite articulate program that will prepare new Kaita expert and new instructor. Also, you can participate only to some of these courses, but of course it will change. If you want to have the full qualification, you follow the complete. And this includes training in steps, but not only, also in singing. We will have some basic musical education. We will work also on communication, for example. So all the skills that are connected with Kaita and that can form somehow an instructor, but not only instructor. So if we click here, we go to the link of this first course that will happen in Marigar this summer. So you can go directly here and check about the full program and the date and so on, and then description. But also, also if you go here in our web page, I just quickly show how it works. If you go in the menu, here you click on dance school. And then you will have all the possible information about for example, as I say, about our video, demonstration video, and YouTube explanation, the tutorial. And also here you will find about the workshop. Oh, someone is there that we know, Dr. Punso. And then here about this educational program. So you find also here all the program. And then something else I want to share. So about the third aspect, the application. So something that is happening now in Poland is Kaita as part of this program of the Inner Mastering Institute. So this beautiful and colorful image show the program of this institute that is preparing people to become coaches, supervisor, manager, and so on. So Kaita now is one of the secondary skill tool for in this educational program. So if you would like to have more information, know more about this way of applying, you can write to this email here that you can see. So this is one example of a concrete application of Kaita. And here is where we could now apply Kaita in the future. I hope that we can develop in the kids, for kids at school, for school teacher, in the cultural program, for example. So I say like multiple face of a diamond, Kaita can be integrated in the program, no? Because for me, Kaita is like a diamond that has many faces. So in cultural program, then we will, in this, with this kind of stress in the cultural aspect, then wellness, health, as we say already, stress reduction, and some connected with awareness. And now I can maybe show some picture of just something from, this is from the beginning in Callao in Tenerife. We were singing together with the master in Marigar West in Italy, in the Gompa. This is Zamlinger. On the left side, you see our examination, and here is happy manifestation of dancer. This is Kunsangar North, Russia, and Poland. Here is Australia, and Kunsangar North again. Here is in Slovakia, and Bhutan, this. And this is something in China. This is a picture of all our instructor when 2016 we did the examination with our master. And here just some picture of events and performance where we participated. This is in London at the British Museum. And this is a participation at the SID Congress, Conseil International de la Danse, in the Dora Stratou Theater in Athens under the Acropolis. It was a beautiful place. And here is Russia, in Moscow, St. Petersburg. We have been participating different times in some events, also connected with SID. And this is the New York parade and Gran Canaria show in the theater. And this was during for the opening of the Mako Museum in Arcidosso. We did first in the street, and then in front of the museum, we opened the exhibition with our dance. And this was in Brescia, dance festival. And here is Lopon Tenzin Nandak reading our text, the letter, because we sent this message from Tibet that was a wish of Rinpoche. So we sent to His Holiness Dalai Lama, to Lopon Tenzin Nandak, and Dugu Chögyal Rinpoche. So this beautiful picture, really. And now this is where you can find us. So quickly, we have a web page that I said before. And, sorry, I technical something. One moment. Now I'm lost. Sorry.
That's okay. Take your time.
No, just quickly I go. Okay. So the webpage, the mobile application, Khaita.com, and then YouTube. So just type Khaita Joyful Dances, you will find. In Facebook, then we have Shanshun publication where you can find our books and video tutorial. And this is our email if you want to connect with us for every information so on. And now I close this by invite everybody to join us through Facebook, because very soon when these shows end, there will be a streaming from Zamlinger of our dances. So everybody can join through our Facebook page. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adriana. Thank you for sharing all those resources. I'm so delighted to see such great things happening in the world for the Kaita dance. And it's amazing to see all these groups of people dancing so joyfully all around the world. It's incredible. So thank you for sharing those resources. And yes, let me echo that sentiment. Please do learn more about Kaita online. And also right after this show, soon after, you can tune into a live presentation of the Kaita dancing. So do that through the Facebook page and through the Kaita website. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for, Adriana, you put together so many great resources for us today. I really appreciate it. It was well organized and colorful and interactive, so thank you so much. And as we move towards closing, I want to just come back to our ongoing host and our school director, Menpa Punsak Wangmo. Menpa Wangmo, do you have anything else you'd like to share with our audience today?
I just want to say thank you, Adriana. Put such wonderful things together. And I want to say thank you, Adam Matthew. And I want to say thank you to all the listeners. As I said, how the sound through the 5 elements could help to the benefit to the health. That is a big topic, so I will try to have another one webinar about that. And today, just simply, I want to say thank you, everybody listening. So that's all I want to say. Thank you. Really, thanks, Over Rinpoche. Without Rinpoche, we will not be here together. We will not have all those kind of things. Rinpoche's mission is to benefit to the humanity, to using the Tibetan culture and the Tibetan, including Tibetan medicine, Dharma, so on and so forth, to benefit to the sentient beings. So I'm so happy this is happening. So I want to say thank you, all my Vajra brothers, sisters who's carrying this Rinpoche's vision ahead. I want to say thank you, all of you.
Thank you so much once again, Menpa Wangmo. Absolutely. And thank you, Adriana Dal Borgo. Thank you again for your presentation and for joining us today. And everybody tuning in today, we really appreciate your collaboration. Thank you for joining us. Please do follow us on Facebook, and please do remember to join our email list so that you can keep in touch for our future offerings, our courses and different content. Also, we have different volunteer projects that are available, so we will be sending out announcements on our email list. If you're interested in helping out the Shangshung Institute School of Tibetan Medicine with any of our exciting projects, we would love to keep in touch with you about that. So everybody, we're wishing you many blessings, and we hope to tune in with you soon in the future. Adriana Dal Borgo, our special guest, and our ongoing host, Menpa Punsak Wangmo, thank you all so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for listening. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.